ATS Live, the first couple of minutes are always the time when guests are starting to join us and so forth. So what I'll basically say is, my name's Joe Gehring, Vice President of Driver Recruiting here at Anderson Trucking. I got a very special guest, Kally, with me.
Yeah.
She's on our fleet management side of the business. So again, there's always this awkward couple of first minutes. So what I do want to, I didn't even tell you this about the Sam, but so this is our 29th consecutive week. So I think we're going to start calling this episode 29 or episode 30 when we go forward. But yeah, without a doubt, these are these Facebook Lives, and we call them ATS Lives. Ask Us Anything. Our entire purpose of what we do here is we obviously have a lot of active ATS drivers that join us, but the purpose is for drivers who are looking at ATS as the potential next carrier. And we're not shying away from talking about any specific or particular topic. So what I will tell you is that we always come with some topic matter, and so tonight it's really talking about effective communication between the fleet manager and the drivers.
Yeah.
But so I can call out, see people coming in already. Chad's good to see you back. Paul, how you doing? James, good to see you, buddy. So as folks that have joined us on a pretty regular basis, we are always going to divert to the questions because we're doing this live to respond to comments. But if we see the comments are a little bit slower, we've got some topic that we're going to talk about during the entire session today. And if we kind of looks like we're missing you, we always go back before we end and make sure we're responding to everything. Very important for me to call this out. We post this afterwards as a recorded session. You can still post comments, and we actually go back and look at all of those comments. So we will make sure we're responding to 100% of any comments that are put out there for us. So let's see.
Oh,
What's that?
I have a typo in my comment. Where's everyone watching from tonight?
Okay, well that's okay, Samantha. You keep on going.
Shucks.
So we got about 15 people on board already. So again, I'm just going to reintroduce myself. My name is Joe Gehring, Vice President of Recruiting here at Anderson Trucking. I've got Kally as a guest tonight. Kally's going to do a little bit more talking tonight than I'm going to do, I hope. Right, Kally?
Yes.
So Kally's been with us how many years now?
Going on 7.
7 years.
Yes.
So when Kally first came here, she actually worked in a position called driver services, and now she's a fleet manager, and actually her experience with driver services is probably what makes her one of our top, I'm just going to say, retention driver or fleet managers. But she's all about relationships, and she's going to spend a lot of time talking about what that means. So like I said, we got a couple of hellos and all that coming through, and where people are calling in from. Folks, I'm begging you, remember, if you're not asking questions, we can't respond to the things that are on your mind. So I'm going to jump right into this, Kally.
Sounds good.
So, Kally, the number one thing for the fleet manager-driver relationship, it's all about good communication. But I guess what I'd like to ask you is, what does optimum communication look like when you have a brand new driver join your fleet?
Yeah.
And you're meeting this driver for the first time? So you've got how many drivers on your fleet?
About 42.
42.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit higher than what we normally go, is from my understanding.
Yeah.
But so you got 40 plus drivers, but you've got a brand new driver that you've got to kind of set the groundwork with, because the relationship is all built on trust and respect, right?
Yeah.
So can you give a couple of pointers on what that first discussion looks like?
Sure. So I run a company fleet. The majority of my drivers are going to be coming out of Porter, and I'm based in St. Cloud, Minnesota at the corporate office. So I typically don't get to meet you right off the bat in person. So, within the first 30 days or so, I'd like to get you to the St. Cloud office, introduce myself. When we sit down and we go through that introduction, it's just laying the groundwork. What are you doing out on the road? Who are you working for? Are you working for your family? Are you doing this for yourself? And just getting to know you as a person, I think that's huge. That kind of opens up trust, right? That's going to be the big thing. Me personally, I think I go a little bit above and beyond with that. I want to know you, your family, so that's huge. Yeah. So when we talk about, your communication when it comes to running freight, there's going to be different methods of communication that you can use. So we've got our driver app, we've got our Qualcomm system, and then of course we've got phone. So you're going to be able to message through that driver app to me if you've got questions. So when you're running freight for me, if you are at a customer and you need a pickup number, you can get right into line there. You don't have to leave that line to go back to your truck to send a message. You can just send me a message right from your app. And that's going to come directly to me, and then I can respond to you. So It's a pretty neat new feature that we've come out with in like the last year, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
So that sets us apart from, I think, a lot of other carriers. It's nice to have that.
Looks like one of your drivers is yelling out to you real quick too, for the record.
Hi! Thanks
So-
for joining.
So I don't know if this is Sam, but I'm just gonna get rid of this. So so as we're going through this, there's so many levels to
Yeah.
the relationship, right?
Yeah.
So when you first get started out, what are some of those big expectations that for a driver to be successful on your fleet?
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. Clearly, they've got they've got expectations of you.
Yeah.
They want good communication. They want proactive communication.
Yeah.
But you also have expectations of them. What do you think those key few things are that are important to set right out of the gate?
Sure. So for me, I'm going to be available to you. I need you to be available to me as well. So if I'm needing to get in touch with you, I'm not sending you a message. I'm going to give you a phone call right away. So when we do that, I just want you to be available. A working cell phone is obviously huge. So just making sure that that's available.
Well, good. And actually, so looks like we got one question. What is the home time? I think it says post to be. What's supposed to be like here at ATS? So we cover this a lot, almost every weekend. It's a great question because we have something we call the three-legged stool here at ATS. And the three-legged stool actually comes from your boss, Jeff. But he says, my fleet managers are always paying attention to pay. Are they meeting home time requests? And are we treating the driver with respect? There's a lot of other things, but those three things, there's zero tolerance of us not knowing exactly what's going on with our driver fleet. So, but when it comes to home time, what you know what the home time policy is, so why don't you go ahead and cover that?
So when we have new drivers coming aboard, we expect out for 2 weeks at a time. We request that you do put in a home time request through the Qualcomm system. We're not just going to automatically get you home, so you do have to request that time off period, just like I would need to my boss if I needed time off. But every 2 weeks we are getting you home. So basically for every day that you're running, or excuse me, every week that you're running, you're earning yourself a day off at the house. We realize that we're human, things come up. So if you got an emergency happening at home, you can't come out on the day that you intended to come out, give us a call, let us know right away, and we'll work it out with you.
Good answer.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to proactive communication. So dropping something last minute, that's a little bit tough. Now, if you got a family emergency,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that every driver that we have will say that if something comes up unexpected, we drop everything and repower freight and help them get home and all that kind of stuff too.
Absolutely, yeah. I've had situations where I've had a driver, a family member ends up in the hospital, and they're thousands of miles away. I have had situations where I've gone as far as finding a customer where we can leave their truck there for a few weeks, repower the load, get them a flight home immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? And so what I really want to just call out, so folks, I'm sorry that I'm not always looking right at you with the camera because I'm paying attention to the comments over here on the right-hand side. But what I love is so many of our drivers just throwing name after name of their fleet managers and how good they are. We think that we've got the best team of fleet managers in the industry, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we do have some pretty high expectations of who
do.
we bring in. But thank you guys for making those comments. I'll make sure I pass that on. But appreciate the reaffirmation of some of the things that we're talking about tonight.
Absolutely.
So kind of left off on those key things for that driver to be successful in your expectations. Anything you'd like to add to what you had said?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the hugest things is your trip planning for the day and the communication that's going to go with that. I mean, I can't read your mind. I don't know when you're planning to start your day and end your day. So when we've got a high priority load, it's going to be crucial that you are communicating. If you've got anything major going on with, let's say, a trailer that needs some maintenance or a tire on your tractor, whatever the case may be, get with us right away so we can report any type of delays that might be going on.
Okay, and I'm just reading a long one here from Andrew. I want to make sure I got it. So for lease drivers, as long as you make the lease payments, etc., is there a time limit for home time? Just curious. I usually stay out about 3 months at a time and take a month off. So listen, we try to spell out what success looks like at ATS and what a driver needs to do to be successful. So we quote some pretty big earning numbers for our company drivers, for our lease drivers. And so bottom line is company drivers, success. If you're willing to be out 2 weeks at a time, that you can be successful here being out 2 weeks. For every week out, it's a day and a half at home. So 2 weeks out, you're home for 3 days. 3 weeks out, you're home for 4.5 days. And so if you stay out longer and you decide to stay out 3 or 4 weeks at a time, basically multiply that by a day and a half. For our lease drivers, it's not much difference, but like what you basically said, you're a lease driver. What we don't want to have you do is realizing that if you go home and you take extended time at home, obviously you've got truck payments to still make, and we don't want to see you falling behind on the obligations of the contract of the lease. So you can manage it, but we always encourage the successful recipe here tends to be for every week out, a day and a half home, and to be in a lifestyle where 2 weeks is okay with you. We do have drivers, plenty of drivers that stay out 3 to 6 months at a time.
Absolutely.
And then go take a big chunk of time off.
Yep.
Right? So, Samantha, I have to tell you, I can't keep up the messages. I'm going to hand this to you, and if you can just call a few out for me as we're going, but I want to stay kind of on track here, but I also don't want to lose. The last one I answered was Andrew's up there, so.
Danielle actually has a good question if you want to hit it really quick.
You want to read it for me?
So if you run 5 weeks straight, you'll get 5 days off, right? So if so, how do truck payments work when you're off?
You still got to make your truck payments.
There you go.
So truck payments are due every week, but the point is if you stay out 5 weeks at a time, you're going to have made enough to where you're reserving that money to where you can afford to do that. It's really simple math, and we'll sit down and do a lot of the financial planning with you as well, because we want to set you up for success. But if you're out for 5 weeks, that's a day and a half for every week out. So realistically, you're not getting 5 days off, you're getting 7.5 days, so a little over a week off. So, but most people basically tuck some money away off to the side, knowing that payment's going to be coming off. If there's some emergency that happens, again, sometimes we'll work on making adjustments on lease payments, but we got to take that case by case based on the situation. So, any other big ones coming so far?
You're good to go.
Huh?
You're good to go.
Ben, are you sure?
Yes.
Good. So, and I keep feeling like I'm cutting you off on the most important subject.
Yeah.
So, the two main things that I want to make sure that the drivers watching today are getting is what does effective communication look like?
Yep.
And we got to kind of say specifically what that is, and then what are the expectations for them to be successful as a driver with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So getting back to effective communication, for me, like I was saying, it's going to be huge for you to communicate to me with what's going on, right? Again, like I said, I can't read your mind, so I need you to let me know what's going on. If you got something personal happening at the house that's distracting you while you're on the road, I need to know about that. There's going to be some things happening with safety, of course, as well, too. One thing we were kind of talking about is forced dispatch. I hope I'm not kind of jumping the line there.
No. I love the fact. No, so for company drivers versus our lease drivers.
Yeah,
Yep.
so with our forced dispatch policy, there's some leeway to that, right? We want to make sure that the freight that you're hauling, you feel comfortable and safe hauling it. So if there's something, an area that you're getting set up to travel to that you maybe haven't been, or you've got some concerns for, let us know right away. New York City, we don't typically go there. So let us know if there's something of concern. Weather is going to be huge as well too. So we don't ever want you hauling freight that's pushing it to get there because of weather. So rain delays, wind, things like that, let us know. We would rather have you shut down and get off the road.
So can I ask, I think I know the answer, but when we talk about forced dispatch, do the company drivers typically have some options to choose from? It's not just here, this is your next load, you'll go do it, don't ask questions.
Yeah, no, there is definitely some say. So we do quite a bit of freight into the Northeast corridor. I realize that drivers want a change of scenery at times. So if you just spell that out to me by letting me know, hey, listen, I've been running up and down this interstate for the last couple weeks. I want a change of scenery. I'll get you out of that area and get you to somewhere fresh and new.
Good,
Yeah.
good. So I'm going to bring up the fun stuff. So, Kally, you know me pretty good.
Yes.
And for you guys that have been watching this, you guys know I like to bring up those topics that a lot of folks don't want to talk about, but I'm going to just call it out. What are those typical situations that create friction between a fleet manager and a driver? What are those things that cause a disconnect? And what are some of the things that you've done to try to overcome it? Because let's face it, there are times when you've got a driver on the phone who's just livid, and there tend to be some patterns of what creates that. Can you just be pretty candid about what typically creates the disconnect between you and your drivers?
There's going to be times, like Joe said, where people are frustrated about a situation that might be happening. We're going to do our best to try to resolve that. So let's just, for example, you've got a trailer issue that's happening, and you had a trailer issue just a couple days prior. That can be pretty frustrating. So we're going to have to calmly talk through it together. The biggest thing is just making sure you're laying out what those frustrations are, right? So talk it through. If you're frustrated, we have to end the call until you're ready to talk. That's okay. Take a deep breath. It's not a big deal. We will get through it.
Good.
That's huge. I mean, you just got to take the time to have the conversation. So.
Well, and one of the things that we didn't talk about this, but I'm just going to ask it because I like kind of doing a couple of spontaneous questions.
Yeah.
In your 7 years with us, what's the one termination when you have a driver that's with you and they term?
Yeah.
And you sit back and say, this should have not happened.
Mm-hmm.
What are a couple of examples of those, and what have we done organizationally to try to get ahead of that? Because there are times that somebody makes a termination out of emotion.
Yeah.
And the good news is, folks, we get the majority of those guys back. But
yeah.
we'd rather not have that situation in the first place, right?
Yeah. My fleet, I would say, is pretty much primarily built off of referrals and rehires. So that means if they're leaving, they're coming back. The grass isn't greener on the other side. So I would say some of those friction points, you're human. You want to get home. You want to see your family. So if you feel like you're not getting home enough, which is why we're really working on that home time policy, getting you home when we say we're going to, that's huge. Right now, we've got a lot of really great freight where we're running some Walmart dedicated accounts. So running 5 days a week with 2 days off at the house. So if you're living in those areas, you're able to get home far more frequently, which is really nice.
Good.
So yeah, I would say home time would be one of those things where they might be leaving, but they always come back.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Question, guys.
Yes,
Is there after hours office support when the need arises?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 24 hours. So we've always got our night crew, we've got a weekend crew, and then even on holidays we have a skeleton crew available.
Yep.
So there's always somebody to talk to.
So can they use the ATS driver app for that? If there's an emergency and somebody's not answering, can they
Yes.
send a message to that as well?
Yep, correct.
So Kally just taught me something today, but so obviously I'm the old school. I used to know Qualcomm, which is now Omnitrax, and now we built this driver app probably 2-3 years ago, something like that. And for any of our active drivers, I think you guys are going to back this up, but we put a lot of good thought when we built this. It really is a tool to help you manage everything about what you're doing out there, your idle time and settlements and right across the board. But kind of talking about the communication for after hours. So I want to bring up that we also, on the safety side for our flatbed drivers, we've got a 24/7 group that pays attention. Our new flatbed drivers that were just trained and going out flatbed, we want them to be taking pictures of those first couple of months worth of loads, and they send those, we call it the picture program. So talking about after-hour support, it's not just with the full-time fleet, but Flatbed Specialized specifically actually has after-hours people paying attention to where they want to take a look at your load. Did you tie it down properly? Do they have any recommendations for change? So Monday through, basically it's 24/7, and we do have some emergency numbers that if somebody's not responding quickly enough, things like your driver app that you can kind of push up a sense of urgency, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I will have to make mention of, though, is if you are going to send a message and say 911 call, make sure it is a real emergency. I have had a driver do that to me before. They sent me a message 911. I ended everything I was doing, and they told me that their load was canceling. So it's got to be, I mean, if you're going to, you got to really send that message and make sure there's a real emergency there.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's scary to get that message.
And you guys, and again, a lot of the drivers that you guys know me pretty good. I love good sense of humor, but when it comes to doing the business, we got to be able to differentiate, have a little bit of fun, and getting the job done, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, nobody's working for us and working with us to not go home with the biggest paycheck they possibly can. So that definitely helps. Any comments up there? You got to read them to me. I got my contacts in Sam. I can't read that far.
So can you change fleet managers if you have a problem with your current one?
Well, I'm going to address that. You're nodding. If there's truly a personality conflict, and listen, folks, sometimes it just happens, right?
Yeah.
We would rather not have that be the immediate fix, so we want to get to the core of it. And I'll be the first one to say that our goal would be, if there's an issue to where you really think you need to switch fleet managers, that the driver that has the issue, their fleet manager and one of our operations managers sits down to just find out if can something get reset, because we really do train all of our fleet managers to be extremely successful. Kally tends to have a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
I use that word, and if anybody doesn't know the word is, she cares.
Yeah.
And so, there are some fleet managers that can sound a little bit more abrasive, It's not intentional, it's just that's their personality, but they do care. And then you got folks like Kally that just says everything's sweet and never gets angry. So, but the answer is yes. If there is a true problem, we see it happening, and a lot of times maybe it just went too far. Maybe a discussion was had that there's kind of no turning back with words being said, but we try to make sure those kind of things don't happen because usually if it happens with one, a lot of times it's going to happen with somebody else, and we'd really like to get to the core of what's the real problem.
Absolutely.
Anything to add to that, Kally?
I would say like 9 times out of 10, if you're having that sort of issue, it should have been resolved before it got to that point, right? So I think once you sit down with your fleet manager and the operations manager, whether you come to the corporate office and have an in-person meeting, which I think helps a lot, sometimes communication can get misconstrued over the phone too. So like you said, you might be coming across a little abrasive. It's not meant to be that way. So if you have that in-person conversation, I think things can get reset pretty easily.
And folks, I'll always ask for a little bit of a pass because I think we've all had those days to where sometimes somebody just has a bad day, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And when those happen, hopefully you can just get to the next day, kind of do a reset, say, I was an off day. We had a situation with, who knows what might have happened to one of their drivers that might have been really tragic. Sometimes the fleet manager's head is not there, but hopefully I've answered your question. Any other ones that I'm missing so far, Sam?
Yeah, so I actually just replied to one in the chat, but Damien asked, how much flatbed experience do you need to do flatbed? I've been here for 4 months as a lease off, but no flatbed experience, but interested in doing flatbed. And is flatbed only over the road, or is there a Midwest dedicated account?
So to answer your question, so you're with us right now. We always ask that you finish your lease. So we take our time on the front end, and any driver that we have on board, some of them even sound like, hey, it sounds like you're trying to talk me out of a job. And we don't. We want the choices to be yours. If you qualify for any of our positions, we don't want to ever force a driver into one box or the other. So I'll tell you that I think the number is like 47% of the drivers that we bring into Flatbed Specialized have never had flatbed experience. We actually talked about that a couple of weeks ago. They've got tractor trailer experience, they've been pulling vans, they've been pulling reefers, they might have been pulling, whatever it is, tankers or whatever it might be. We do the training. You know how to drive a tractor trailer. We train you to how to secure the load, and that's what that pilot or that picture program I was talking about earlier, to where we've got that 24/7 where you take a picture after you get started. So to answer your question, finish off your lease with what you're doing. When you're done with the lease, if flatbed is what you want to do, 100%, you've got the options. We have drivers transferring from company to lease to company, flats to vans. But what we always want them to do is conclude their contract, because you're in a lease truck, so you've got an agreement for that. Same with a company driver.
Yeah.
We don't want to be switching drivers around every 2 or 3 months. So we like a year is typically the minimum. If you end up getting into a lease that's a 2-year, we'd like you to finish that lease before you make that change.
Absolutely.
And then I responded to Damien's with the live stream where we covered flatbed training. So if anyone else has that question, go ahead and click the link that Samantha Rose Karalik posted in the comments.
So if you guys didn't hear Sam, she put a link. So one of our last episodes that we did was actually about the flatbed training that we do, and I had Charlie Conlon in with us going through exactly what they do and how they train us. So what I tell you is take the time. These posts don't go away. They're out there recorded. They're real time. I mean, they're not real time, but there's no edits to them whatsoever. But like I said, 47% of the drivers that join ATS, that join our flatbed division, they've never had any kind of open deck flatbed experience prior to. So
Yeah.
And we got just as many drivers that say, I've had enough of the tarping and chaining and I'm ready to just pull a 53-foot box. And then Kally gets them on their board.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we have so many different avenues too. I mean, just as far as we've got our TAP program, we've got our long-term lease program. So I get company drivers that come aboard with little experience. They work up some experience and then they want to move on to something new. So,
Right.
Yeah.
What I just realized, though, I did not answer your question about any kind of regional. I will tell you that our van division, as of right now, is the only division that has any kind of regional. We've got a Midwest regional pocket, and we've got a Southeast regional pocket, and a couple of dedicated lanes. But on the flatbed side, flatbedding, one of the natures of that business is it's very random, and it's true over the road to where our customers don't have those regional pockets. They're, if we're hauling for, I'm not supposed to use customers' name, but let's just say we're pulling a big agricultural tractor across country. They got dealers all through the nation. So Currently we don't, but I will say that we just had a pretty big discussion after a board meeting that they are trying to build some pockets for the flatbed side as well. So it's not here yet, but I understand that they're working on it. How are we doing in keeping caught up? Because like I said, that's the one thing I don't like to do is fall or miss the questions.
Do you all have an area that gives out the most paying loads?
No.
Yeah.
We listen at ATS. Our earnings are just stellar right now.
Yeah, they are.
We've, I don't like to just come in here and talk about the earnings, but if you're a driver of ours, you guys can speak out on what kind of money you're making. But I can tell you that on our flatbed and vans company side, what would you say? I know what the ranges are. What do you believe that the ranges are?
I would say right now, we've got some pretty awesome freight, some container freight that we're hauling. I know you said we can't say customers, but so we're hauling that. And I mean, those loads, just for that load, 660 miles are paying upwards of $1,400 just for that load.
Okay.
So.
Well, and what that relates to though I believe that you guys get an
average.
update on the kind of the range
Yeah.
that you guys are offering. And if I'm not mistaken, that range is somewhere between like $1,600 and $2,100 a week. And that's on the company side, on probably both sides. But our drivers, our company drivers across the board are making more than we've seen in a long time. And up in the high, like I said, 16 to 19 is probably a stable number. We got drivers making well over 2,000. And on the lease side, we've got folks that are doing between 2,000 and 3,000 after all fixed expenses. And just remember, there's risk and reward. So the company drivers got that stability where they have a breakdown. They don't have to worry about the truck payments. So it's really the trade-off. Do you want to go make good money, but maybe not as much as you can as a lease operator without having the risk of the contracts?
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier that we don't try to push any driver into any bucket. I can tell you now, we've got the most diverse, flexible options that I've seen in any carrier between what we do with our one-year lease program, no money down, no credit check, basically walking in with almost no risk. And what we're doing with our company drivers with the APUs in the trucks and the guaranteed pay programs and upside pay. And our upside pay program is we're the only company out there that I'm aware of that pays our drivers either percentage or cents per mile on each and every load, whichever is greater. So you're not going to select it. It's going to tell you on this load, here's the rate. And if the 28% is greater, that's what you get paid. If your CPM is greater, then that's what you get paid. And that's why the numbers are averaging to be a little bit over 75 cents a mile for all of our company drivers. Pretty darn big number to talk about. But the freight's good. The drivers actually our drivers are working a little harder now than I've ever seen them because the money's that good, right?
Yeah.
Sam, am I missing anything else?
I'm trying to read Chad Schultz's message. He says, Joe, Sam, if the class falls through, I'll be in 2 acts of class 14, 15 for Blade.
Well, congratulations is all I got to say to you.
Oh, okay.
So that means you're moving up in the world. Good for you. So I'm not sure what that means if something falls through, but all I'm hearing on that message, Chad, is you're planning on coming into Blade Axle training, and congratulations. I think is my only comment I can make there.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to, folks, the one thing is we always try to keep this to around 30 minutes. We've had a couple of drivers say it gets a little bit long. And Kally, I told you, before you know it,
It was over.
30 minutes is
so
gone.
quick.
But we're not quite at the end of this, but I do want to, I want to bring up one thing. So we have our employees go through our driver orientation, and one of my employees actually heard a number of drivers in one of the past classes bringing up the word being mistreated, that these drivers that came to ATS with their private carriers, that they felt very mistreated. I felt it was pretty important to bring this up real quick because that's a big word. But what they told me that mistreatment was where their fleet manager is pushing them to basically run out of, over their hours, to run a load without the proper permits, to not do the curfews, basically asking them to break the law or to do something that's not safe for them. I will assure you, and Kally, I'm sure you will back me on this.
Yeah.
We've got zero tolerance for that. We dispatch our drivers at 50 miles an hour. If you pre-plan properly, Kally brought that up earlier, the way we're dispatching and the earnings that I just told you about, you're not going to have to run 3,000 plus miles to make a paycheck. You're going to run between 2 and 2,200 maybe, and you're going to be making these big paychecks with ATS. But again, the planning, I've said this many times before, more times than not, if there's a rush at the end of that load, usually it's because the driver didn't make good decisions in their planning.
Yeah.
And actually, we just got done writing an article. It's going to be up on our Drive for ATS site. So talking about trip planning and some of the things that you need to do to be successful. So is it too soon for me to be bringing that up?
No, it's good to tease it, but it's not there yet.
Well, it's coming.
It's
So
in
we're,
the works.
We're putting a learning center on the Drive for ATS website, and it's covering you guys. We got 141 articles we're writing to try to help you guys, and it's really all about just little tricks of the trade that we've learned and talking more industry than just about ATS. So it's not out there yet, but we're hoping like within the next 2 weeks it'll be there. So you'll kind of hear me dropping a few teasers about that. And it's just another resource center that we're trying to build for basically you guys that are watching. So we're coming to the end. Is there anything hot that I've missed?
I'm hearing some great comments, but nothing hot.
So we love the comments. That just thrills us when we're reading through these. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I will tell you that I've got somebody committed to watching this. I've got an entire team of recruiters that will be on this thing tonight and tomorrow as well. A couple of them are on the line with us right now.
Robbie's on.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yep.
Robbie's usually on. Paul's usually almost always on. So what I'm going to say is they always go by quick. 2 thank yous. Three thank yous. Number 1, thank you for our active drivers that are on board watching. It's great to be able to have you guys echo a little bit about what we're saying. It makes, I guess, that integrity part and the transparency part that more believable. So I appreciate you guys participating. If you're a driver who's looking at us for the first time or have been kicking tires and ATS is one of those that made the top of your list and you just haven't made that decision, I'm hoping these are helpful for you. Basically, any of our recruiters are ready to sit down and talk more detail one-on-one because every decision is an individual, not a group. So driveforats.com is where we're at. But my thank yous to our active drivers, to the new drivers that are looking at us, and to you, Kally.
Thank you.
Sam, always thank you to you, of course, for making sure technical
Yes.
things went well. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
For those of you who are thinking about joining us or are already with us, if you haven't been up here to the corporate office, make sure you come by, say hello. That's another huge thing. I mean, just being able to have that freedom to come into the office, walk up to your fleet manager's desk, say hello. I know a lot of other companies out there don't let you roam around the office, but we want to see you. So make sure you stop in, say hi.
We're actually a little surprised to hear that because for our new drivers, when I hear these stories about going to a plexiglass window and almost like
that's
being
terrible.
visited in prison,
Yeah.
no thanks. So
No.
yeah, actually the cool part here, you want to walk up directly to Raleigh Anderson or Brent or Scott Anderson. Kally will say that when her drivers are in town, they know exactly how to waltz over to your desk. And first thing they're asking is for their lunch ticket, and then they might talk about
Yeah,
other things,
that's
right?
true.
So everybody listen, we really enjoy doing these. We've been getting a lot of good feedback from drivers that have been coming into our orientation. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I will ask one last thing. If you're watching this after the fact, I am always begging for content to talk about. What are those things? And I guess the way I would frame it is, what are those questions that you think that that most trucking companies avoid to talk about? And I've got a couple of really good ones, and I'm going to bring all of these up. I'm going to actually have one whole session on the questions I got. Things like talking about firearms, alcohol, knives in your trucks. Those are all things that we're going to talk about. But I'm looking for as many as you guys can hit me with. So the 2 would be, what are those things that you think that carriers don't want to talk about? And number 2, which ones do you typically feel that you're not being told the truth about? We'd like to hear what those questions are. So even if you're watching the recorded version, put a comment down, send a note to me, joe@atsinc.com. Sam's going to type it in there so it's on this stream for later on. And I'm going to tell you what, the top 5 drivers that give me a really good topic of discussion, we're going to be doing some drawings, but the top 5 drivers are all winning a $50 gift card from me and a Yeti ATS mug. So, and it's going to be based on a voting poll. And I think I might even do this as early as next week to say what the topics are and who the winners were. So again, thanks for joining us, everybody.